G'day everybody, Paz here. Thanks for dropping by. We are rushing towards the end of 2023. With the festive season well and truly starting, it was time for my family to make the pilgrimage down south to visit relatives in Waroona. Rather than make it a tiring day trip with two restless kids, we decided to take the camper and set up at a holiday park near Lake Navarino for a few days. Well, you can't ask a keen angler to camp near a freshwater dam and not expect them to chuck a line in. I've never tried any sort of freshwater fishing before, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I jumped at the opportunity to bring the kayak and set out to fish the tranquil waters of Lake Navarino. And I'm so glad I did. Check it out. Lake Navarino is a dam situated on the Drake's Brook, formerly Navarino Stream, and where the lake gets its name. It's situated 10 kilometres east of Waroona in southwestern WA. Construction of the dam was completed in 1966, with its primary use being water irrigation. Interestingly, the former workers' camp for the dam is now the site of a caravan and holiday park, where we're staying. Lake Navarino is a great spot for recreational pastimes such as four-wheel driving, water sports, boating, kayaking, and, of course, fishing. The lake is stocked with rainbow and brown trout, as well as being home to invasive Redfin Perch and the popular marron, although the season hasn't started yet, a fact I'm ruining. While the family slept, I got up early and headed down to the lake. You can't camp along the banks, but with our camping site a 5-minute drive away, it's no bother. The plan was to get a couple of hours fishing in before the heat of the day set in, and the rest of the family joined me. I have never fished freshwater before. As you know, I frequent the Swan River and surrounds. As a disclaimer, I should also mention that while I research and prepare as well as I can, I am a complete novice. I knew that the likelihood of a trout at this time of year was low, given the summer heat driving them to the cooler waters of the dam's depths. I also had a passing knowledge of lures and plastics that could possibly work on them, as well as a cursory knowledge of redfin spawning cycles and feeding habits. However, as I'm sure you can agree, there's no substitute for actually getting out there, having a crack, and feeling your way through. And, as the little voice in every angler's head says, unlikely does not mean impossible. I set out on the beautiful waters of the lake, marvelling at the unfamiliar surroundings. I was so enraptured, I almost forgot to cast out my rods. Both were spooled with 6-pound braid and leader. My longer rod was sporting a 35mm RMG Scorpion in rainbow trout colour, while the other had on a Z-Man grub in midnight oil for my brim collection. I set them in their rod holders and began to troll, pausing periodically to cast my plastic into shallows, snags and rock faces. I even left the kayak for a bit, casting into deep troughs near runoff openings. Nothing. While the scenery was nice, nothing even tapped my lures. I pedalled on, hoping and praying that my first freshwater session wouldn't be a donut day. Something must have been listening, because 90 minutes into my session, my rod bent. The strike was subtle. I almost didn't notice it. Trying to still my excitement, I grabbed the rod and started cranking. A little redfin perch. Hardly a size worth bragging about, but immeasurable to me, as it will be forever known as the first freshwater fish I ever caught. It had inhaled the scorpion lure, and it took some work to get the hooks free. Now, redfin are listed as a pest species. While it's not illegal to release them after capture, it is strongly recommended that they be kept and disposed of humanely. Fortunately, they have a reputation as quite a tasty table fish, so I had no issues keeping it. With my first freshwater catch under my belt, I continued on. It appeared I caught the only bloody fish on the dam, because it was quiet for a long time after that. I switched my 35mm Scorpion out for a 50mm version in brown trout colour, hoping the bigger profile would entice a strike. And it did, giving me my second fish of the day. This one was a little bigger, still nothing special, but to be expected at this time of year. Once again, it was dispatched humanely, and into the esky it went. I kayaked the entire lake, trolling, casting and changing lures again and again. Unfortunately, the fish were better on the day, and I finished my session with a grand total of 2 redfin. However, I wasn't upset. I ticked off 2 goals, my first reddy and my first freshwater fish. That's a win in my book. The victory celebration was time with my family as they splashed about in the cool waters of the lake. Due to family celebrations and kid wrangling, I wasn't able to get out again until the following afternoon. It had been a warm day, so I wasn't liking my chances. However, like the freshwater novice that I am, I was about to be proven wrong. As I pedalled around the pristine lake, I decided to head to a narrow patch near a water runoff site. I'd fished the banks there the previous day, and my theory was that fish might be holding in the deeper waters where the narrow channel widened to the lake. I'd also made a modification to one of my lures, adding a few split shot sinkers to keep it down lower in the water column. With both my scorpions trailing my kayak, I moved slowly along. Whack! A redfin smashed my lure. I was so surprised that I almost lost the fish. After stowing my latest catch, I reset and went again. I'd found the school. They mostly went after my sunken lure. They were on the smaller side, but I didn't care. I was having a blast. About half an hour and several fish later, it was time to go. I reluctantly left the fish still biting and headed back to my start point. To my surprise, the family appeared on the bank, having driven along the 4-wheel drive tracks to say g'day. As I brought the kayak in, I was buzzing. Against the odds, I'd actually done alright, and was topped off with an esky full of redfin. They didn't go to waste. What we didn't use ourselves was given to fellow campers and anglers. Pay it forward, and it pays to be generous. Well, that about wraps it up. My first freshwater experience. An experience to remember. Still, I have a new goal now. I want a trout. When? Well, we may have to come back for another video. Thanks for coming along with me on this fantastic new experience. And please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment if you love WA fishing and kayaking content. As always, this video is dedicated to my 2 sons, who are currently covered in red dirt. This is Paz, wishing you fair winds and tight lines. Until next time.